Here I am, Leon C, aka Morpheus. Now, if you're gonna watch this video, you're gonna have to go back to watch the video called "To Go Back to the Way Things Used to Be." Okay, that's video number 1. This is actually video number 2. Okay, so this is an extension of that video because I ran out of time. So if you don't understand anything that I'm saying in this video, you have to relate it to the other one, and it's called, again, "To Go Back to the Way Things Used to Be." Okay, so if there's a couple of words off or something like that, it's still the same. Okay, it's under my title, under my name, and it's in my video section. You can't miss it. Okay, along with my description box. Now, here we go. In this section, I'm going to talk about the details of the relationship aspirations. Now, I talked about the technological, the computer, the lifestyle, the autonomous cars, and the behavior that we have of feeling like we can't turn back to change our lifestyle based on us going too far here in America and in our lifestyle. Now, when it comes to relationships, okay, and that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people are concerned about, and definitely my emailer in the last video, okay, is that thinking that is man and woman going to have the potential to go back to the virtuous, simple, sensible lifestyle that the American woman, are just specifically the American people, used to be in. Okay, now it is the same. You can tether it to the same principles that I have applied in the first video. Okay, you can actually put it in the same bracket of realizing that you are on the edge of the river and that there's no other place to go but underneath it. Okay, so it would be best to turn around, like I said in that video, turn your narrow ass around and go the other way. Okay, but in this particular section of the conversation, okay, it gets a little bit more complicated because we are dealing with the time of the people themselves who fail to realize the inadequacy of the relationships that they have. So they don't comprehend the devastations until later on. What that means is there's a lot of movements. There's a lot of equality issues. There's a lot of marching going on. Okay, there's a lot of complaining in the corporate world, and there's a lot of issues between man and woman that's not going to be resolved overnight. Okay, and it definitely makes it difficult for those who might be interested in pursuing a relationship, or if you don't want to pursue a relationship, or at least have a friend or some girl that you just interested in just for fun. You got a friend or somebody who you just hang out with for every now and then to have a good time. But here's the thing. You still have the potential. Look like my eyes is burning because it's kind of sunny out here. Or maybe it's an irritant, but I'm going to keep on talking. Okay? No, Morpheus is not crying. All right? But anyway. Oh, he needs a relationship. Oh, you want me to come and hug you, Morpheus? No, come on. I'm just joking here. Now, here we go. Leave her or him where they stand. First of all, you want somebody who's acknowledgeable to comprehend what's going on in the new world. You want someone who is up to date with what's going on with the effects, the movements, the struggles. That way they can comprehend where they fit in. Okay, that way they won't be a distortion in your life and expect too much from you. All right, and at the same time, don't go forward with them in their ignorant plans. Meaning, if they're not reading as they should, they're not studying, they're not comprehending world economics and the political arena as how it stands. That doesn't mean they need to know the political game and entertainment ring. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they need to sit in front of the TV screen every day all the time. What I'm saying is have somewhat of a sense of what's going on in the current world. Okay, if you're going to be serious with them on an intimate level. Okay, but again, if they're not going that far, if they're not interested in just knowing what's going on in the surrounding worlds, and you just want to just have fun with your friend, then that's cool. Okay, but let me get to the core of this fact, because I know y'all know about this. That's just okay. Listen, one individual such as yourself have to be responsible to know that the river is in front of you. Okay, especially with bringing kids in this generation, that's a no-no. Okay, bringing kids in the world at this time, that's a no-no. Okay, trying to get married at this time with all the traps, all the fixings, all the inconsistency, where most relationships don't last no longer than 2 or 3 years, but yet you want to bind yourself to a marriage and think you're going to be together for the rest of your life. Or if you have kids for 18 years, okay, that's not even logical. That's taking a risk. That's Russian roulette, where you have, let's say you have a 10 shooter, okay, or you can say a 9 shooter, okay, where you have 8 of the bullets that are actually in there. You only have 1 empty hole as salvation. So that means no matter where you spin the revolver, okay, you got 8 times to meet the bullet versus that 1 time. That's not a chance of victory. That's not putting yourself in a position of success. Whereas years ago, there probably would have been like at least 1 or 2 bullets out of a 9 shooter. Okay, so you still have a chance. At least 7 of them will be empty. All right. But anyway, you got to know and be responsible as comprehending the devastations of relationships. That again, if you want to turn back the time and go back to the quality state of life, stand on your standards and stand your ground as to how you know the world should operate based on your personal preference and based on the quality that America used to be. So therefore, if that individual decides to be a part of the new movements, okay, or to be the gluttonous type of person and just want, okay, and consuming without any thought, you can step back and let them be them. So basically, leave them there. Basically, give them what they want. Okay, for example, I dated this girl, okay, who I met because she was a recent acquaintance of mine. Nothing intimate or anything like that, but she told me she was interested in me. I'm like, okay, all right. She was talking big game, talking about how she was different than the rest of the women and how she was capable to hold her own. She was independent. Everything that usually these common women say to make us men think of using them or think of putting them in the front line of our priority list. Okay. So I'm like, okay. I tried her by her words. Say, okay, we're gonna go out one night. Okay, we're gonna do it. Let's go. Okay. And of course, this is another girl. I know I gave you another video based on another experience before that I was testing several females. But this is a different situation. Actually, this is a newer one. Somebody who don't know who I am as Leon C. and Morpheus. They don't know I put out good red pill and hot fire, so they will sidetrack. But anyway, so we go out there, and again, first thing I do is begin to ask questions like, oh, so how are you doing? How's your night? What's going on? And what's up? Okay, and she couldn't answer a lot of questions. She didn't have any type of logic to anything that I was asking her, as if she didn't know anything that was going on in the current world. And I asked her what she wanted in her future. I asked her what is it her direction. She talked about, well, I want kids, and I want to be married someday. Okay, and that's what started off the conversation with her. Okay, so I'm like, okay, why would you want kids in this current generation or in the condition that you are in this world? Because the benefits of you are being destroyed based on the way other women are carrying along to drag you into the effects of their movements and their complaints and their fight for equality. So you're going to suffer in the long run. But she's like, yeah, I heard a little bit about it, but I'll be all right. I think I'll be fine. And I'm thinking to myself, really? That's your logic. Just you think you're going to be okay. Okay. But you don't really know what's going on. Okay. Then we begin to talk about marriage, and I explained to her very simply, because I don't like to waste my time and talk longer than necessary. I'm like, okay, so you understand that marriage is a marriage contract and how you're going to have to learn the relationship. If you're going to succeed in the relationship or the marriage, that you have to study the person. That means learn how to be with that person through the rough end of the situations, and that it's not going to always be great. You got to have to fight for the relationship and make it happen. And of course, the screen keep going, blah, blah, blah. Okay, just the normal expression of how relationships succeed. And she said, yeah, I know that, but I think when the time comes, God's going to bless me with a good man, because I think, I think I've waited long enough for a good man. And I'm just sitting there smiling and laughing, just thinking to myself that in my mind, I could see her walking through a valley where there's a lot of evil and a lot of danger there, and she's just blindfolded, thinking that she's going to be okay, and that nobody's going to swing an axe or an anvil at her, okay, just because she's a woman. All right. Now, of course, the night continues going. We still have this conversation. I'm thinking to myself, okay, this girl's completely out of line with what's actually going on. So, yeah, I mean, I could spend time with her if I wanted to. We can have a little fun. I mean, if that's all that she can get, but that's all that she can get. That's the only quality that she has to offer, because there's nothing else up here. There's no direction. There will be a jeopardy to my lifestyle, to my livelihood. There will be a jeopardy to me by wasting my time to be with her who's non-productive. Okay, so the story goes on in the night, and this is why I'm bringing this to you. Okay, at the end of the night, okay, she tried to play that game that most American women do. Okay, and I went along with it because, again, I always do these studies on purpose so I can give it to y'all to let y'all know that this struggle is real, right? So we get in the car after going out to eat, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, well, I got things to do. I got to finish up the paperwork and stuff like that based on my book and other type of business that I got going on. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna call it a night, and I got things to do. So she was like, well, why not? Let's go for a walk. And if you don't want to go for a walk, let's go here, or let's go downtown and do that, or let's go to this certain area. Let's go here. Let's just do these kind of things. Okay. So the impression that she gave me after a while, because I did ask her, like, okay, why are you want to do this? And she was like, she just didn't want to go home. So basically she wanted me to entertain her, okay, to take her places, to work for her intimacy, okay, where it wasn't good enough for her. Now, when I asked her, okay, well, is it because you want to spend more time with me, because you like me as a person? Okay. And of course she said she did, but when I tested her out with it, okay, she couldn't line up with it. Okay, she still wanted me to do things for her. And it wasn't based on, okay, simply getting to know me as a man or appreciating the interaction that we had. You understand? So let me tell you what I did. And I know a lot of you might think it's cold-hearted, but I don't care, because I have to protect myself. And it's all about my dignity, and to show you something of what I mean about when that river's out there, you don't go farther, you turn back around. Okay? She began to make unnecessary demands as if she earned it immediately. Okay? She began to have this idea that she was entitled to me doing things for her, making ways for her, pulling strings for her, expecting something greater out of the relationship that she have not earned. Okay? By the end of the conversation that we had, immediately when she said, well, why don't we just go here, because I want to go somewhere else, I did something I don't normally do. I said, okay, well, no, I think I want to just chill out at the house. I was like, what do you think? Okay, I said, I'll tell you what, maybe we'll chill out at this such and such place, and just chill out and watch a movie. Or better yet, let's just sit down and talk. Let's get a chance to know each other at a certain level. Okay, let's just communicate that way. She's like, no, I can't. No, I just don't want to be cooped up in one spot. I want to go places. I want to do things. I want to see the town. Okay, I need you to take me places and buy stuff for me. Okay, I need you to be this chivalry of a man and treat me as if I am your daughter and entertain me with cotton candy and stuffed teddy bears. Okay, By that time, it was already about 45 something, 50 something minutes past the time where I said I was going to cut it off. I told her with a straight face, I said, look, I don't know what type of world you come from, but in this generation and time where you women think you are entitled to everything, you're not entitled to this. Okay? And at the same time, you are asking for something that you have not earned. Okay? I gave you a choice and an ultimatum, and you let me know that you aren't interested, okay, in a sensible adult conversation. Okay? All you wanted to do was be entertained. You was having a good time. But what happened to the independent girl? You know, what happened to, oh, I'm not like the rest of them? What happened to, oh, I'm headstrong and I'm capable of taking care of myself and I don't need a man to entertain me and I can, whatever happened to all that? She still went right back to the basic phylum of her species and did what most of them normally do. Expect for us men to do everything and all things for them, and we get nothing in reverse or in return. Okay? Based on the conversation we had, I turned to look at her in the vehicle that we was in. Well, that I was in. I was driving at the time because I like to be in control. I like to do the driving. I said, look, I'm done with this night. Have a good night. She said, oh, are we gonna make another date? Are you gonna? I was like, no. I said, I'm done with you. I have nothing else to talk about. You know, I got better things to do. It's done and over with. Okay? Because by psychology, by fact, by what she was talking about, by reading her measure and the same speculation, because this isn't my first rodeo, and this isn't a lot of men's first rodeo, because we comprehend how these American women act, where it's always, give me, let's do this, let's go here, let's go there. I'm like, you don't got no entitlement to nothing. If anything, you should be glad that you're spending time with me. But yet you want to ask for so much, as if spending time with me isn't enough. Okay? How is a beggar going to be choosy? I don't know what type of guys that most of these females deal with. I know they are. They blue pill beta, and they always just sit there and wait. They'll wait all night just to get them some cootie. I already know that. They'll do whatever she wants them to do. Okay? And they expect that to be the same regimen for every other man that they come across. I wasn't dealing with it, so I cut it off immediately. Never seen the girl since. I'm bringing that to you to give you an example of what must be done to the current species of people who are so head-ridden on going over the river and diving into the depth, okay, of suffocation. Where you got to let them suffocate on their own. Let them go out there. Don't let them be a part of your life. Okay? No, it may be very difficult for people to change and get back to the quality state of man versus woman and gender pronouns and understanding how things cooperate, but you don't have to participate in it. You have the power to say, I ain't dealing with it. Fine. You can think like that, but I think this way. Have a nice day. Or have a nice night. Or I won't see you later. Just say goodbye. Don't say I'll see you later. Just goodbye. Okay? Because in their walks of life, they'll figure it out the hard way. But the problem is, not a lot of people are doing it. And that's your answer. When you say, oh, we can't turn back to the way things used to be, and, oh, you know, I want quality relationships again, and men and women aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Well, blame yourself. Because you have the ability to have personal initiative to do what you know what to do, okay? To protect yourself and to provide a sensible, logical, safe, modest lifestyle for yourself. But the problem is a lot of people, which is the majority of them, are doing the same thing. They partake in it because, oh, well, that's the only way for me to get some cootie from this girl. That's the only way for me to spend time with her, to do what she tell me to do. Oh, that's the only thing I can do to catch up with the Joneses is to be like the Joneses, to dress like the Joneses, to put stuff on my teeth like the Joneses, to walk around like the Joneses. That's the only thing that I could do in order to survive in a social construct that's separated, is to be just like them. So that means most people watch the penguin or the monkey jump over the cliff. Okay, they decide to do it too. Okay, that's the only way for me to be with someone, so I'm going to do it anyway. The sacrifice I made in that night, okay, was knowing that, of course, there's going to be another woman that's going to come around anyway. But the sacrifice is saying, well, whether I keep or whether I get rid of this woman is not going to matter to me. Because in my mind, I'm still thinking she's already gone. She's already just a liability and an issue that could be a problem for me. So the sacrifice that I made, and I can think about this for a lot of other men who can't find a woman, who can't find a decent relationship, who think that if they come across the 9 or 10, that they'll never see a 9 and 10 again in their entire life. So they're not willing to make that sacrifice for this girl who's taken so much from them. From this girl who he has to buy dinners for, he has to buy stuff for, he has to pay for this, and he has to do all that. He's doing that because he just wants to be with her, or shall I say, he wants to get the cootie from her. Okay? But the return isn't all that worth it. So he's not willing to make that sacrifice to cut her off so she can comprehend her errors and what she's doing wrong. But check this out. If you have, let's just say, for example, and I know it's not going to happen, if every man today who was dealing with the female like that, that felt like she was entitled to something, were to turn his back and say, nah, you do it yourself. Don't help her. Let her go out there and do it on her own. You know, she busted tire. Oh, you a woman, you tough. Go ahead and change your own tire. All right, no, you don't need me to protect you. Go ahead and bring your 9 Glock or whatever you got in mace. You know, go on out there and deal with it for yourself. A lot of these women who are sense of entitlement and always, oh, I need you to do that, I want you to do that, they will change overnight because they realize they can't make the man do anything that he don't want to do. They won't depend on the man at that level. Although it's good that we can collaborate, but the fact is, one of our genders is trying to overtake the other, as I've described in my other videos. So most men end up at a disadvantage than they would at an advantage. You understand? But if that were to change, then the reality will start sinking in eventually. You know, it's just like you sitting at a salad bar and she's not getting up to get her own food, but you're giving her the food. You're sitting there feeding her. Oh, baby, yeah, what's up? I'll do it for you. I'll open up the door. I'll do all that for you. Yeah. And she's just sitting there. She's like, okay, I'll take it. Who doesn't want anything free? Who wouldn't want to be entertained if you're willing to entertain them? Who wouldn't want free gifts? Who wouldn't want you to open up the door? I wouldn't mind somebody opening up the door for me. Okay, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to feel superior? Who would not want to feel pampered by the people that they're with on a constant basis? Okay, who wouldn't want that? But if you begin to awaken and realize her deficiency, and you sit down and you eat a plate, it's like, oh, nah, you get up and get your own plate. That sort of thing. Right? Is she going to sit there and starve? No. Eventually, there's 2 things she'll do. She'll try to go to a different beta simp, okay, or a blue pill somewhere and be like, oh, can you? Can you? Or she'll get up and do it herself. Okay? So when you talk about relationships or relating that to a lot of the variations of relationships, the problem is not that it is impossible for us to get back to a sensible man and woman relationship where we are providing for each other, where it's pros, it's cons, it's yin, it's yang. You know, we're gonna do this as a team. Okay? Our minds aren't right because we're going into the field as in a battlefield where we're trying to take something from the other person. Okay? You know, this woman wants this money and this stability and whatever that he has to offer, and he's wanting the cooties, you know, he's wanting her body, he's wanting all these other things, most times insufficient because he already probably has the money as it is and the availability to generate revenue or whatever else it might be. Okay? So they both at odds with each other and they both don't trust each other. But who's wrong in the situation but both of them? Yeah, I know I talk about the female sometimes, but the man is just as wrong. The men are just as wrong because they promote that behavior, the blue pill. Okay? So it does fall down on this particular avenue of relationship, even though there's divorce, there's kids involved, There's couples who are just living with each other and how they're going to live a simple life without being interjected into a technology focused society where you got all these distractions, too much information. You know, you got Facebook and anything online you can just push a button and get. Okay, all that's based on your free will. That's not anything Morpheus can do anything about it. Okay, I already gave you the blue pill. Okay, you just didn't see it. I mean, the red pill, blue pill. I already gave you the red pill. You just didn't see it. Okay, I gave it to you metaphysically, so I didn't pull it out my pocket this time, but you already got it. Okay, but anyway, there's not much that I could do about the situation to give you the answers on that, but to tell you the fault of it is ourselves. That's the fault. If you know what to do and you know what's right, all you got to do is do what's right. And I know a lot of people can't do it because like, oh, everybody else is doing it. I feel like a lost sheep, or I feel like I'm missing out. That's just the sacrifice that you're not willing to make. What did I say in video number 1? You got to put these two videos together to understand what I'm talking about. If I lost you in this video, okay, you got to go back to the other one. You have to make sacrifices to move back. You got it. Just she has to make sacrifices because she has to realize some of her counterparts or some of her woman Homo sapien groups have made it bad for her. So she's going to have to pull back from it and say, okay, y'all do what you do. Same as the men got, hey, y'all do what you do. And I comprehend the way things are supposed to be. I'm not dealing with it. Okay. It's just, you got a lot of people who are directed by the noose on their neck. Okay. They can't guide themselves. You know, they're guided by influence. They're guided by emotion. They're guided by their parents. They're guided by family. They're guided by religion. They don't think for themselves. So therefore, you got a conglomerate of people who are blaming everybody else, blaming the government, blaming the system, blaming drugs, blaming their parents on individual initiatives that they can make themselves. But the real truth is, the reason why, again, just like the first video, it's the way that it is because we do not value it. Don't come to Morpheus talking about, oh, how come these relationships can't go back to the way it was? Because you don't value the way relationships used to be. Because there are people out there who as real as I am. There are people out there who is traditional. There are people out there who are simple. There are people out there who aren't into the technical world as a robot. There are some real humans out there. We just don't put ourselves in a position to link up with each other because we're too busy linking up with the morons who are mindless. So we become moronic just like them. That answers your question. Most times the issue is not out here. Okay, the issue is down here. All right, so that's this video, and add this with the other video. All right, and put those two together. The way things used to be. All right, and again, you got my book down there, 2020 America Rise, or we're gonna fall. And don't take Morpheus' word for it. Watch the news. Pay attention to what people are saying. Even on these channels here, on these YouTube channels, listen to what people are saying. They're telling you that the ceiling is coming down. Okay? And a lot of people are just sitting around, well, okay, I'm just going to pray about it. I think I'll be all right. Okay. All right. Keep on. All right? Because nature's going to come knocking on the door. And you can't say nobody told you. Okay? We're at a time where we got to step back and say, wait a minute, we're gone too far. Let's be cool with it. Let's be content with the life that we have. The problem is we're not. We're just constantly just, one and all. And we're dying from it. Again, 2020, America Rise or Fall. That book is available down there for you in the description box. Read it, love it, like it. You're going to get something like you do my videos. And again, this is Leon C., aka Morpheus, to deliver you with a killer red pill.